Master Oogway was a YouTube persona created by Ömer Sastam, a Turkish-Dutch YouTuber who initially rose to fame by mimicking the voice of the wise character Oogway from Kung Fu Panda. He later shifted to creating edgy, meme-based content that often incorporated dark humor and controversial themes. Over time, his content became increasingly problematic, leading to significant backlash and eventual termination from YouTube. Master Oogway's YouTube career began innocently. His early content revolved around funny meme compilations, often incorporating his iconic Master Oogway voice, which gave his videos a comedic and relatable touch. His audience quickly grew, with many fans praising his ability to combine humor and wisdom from a beloved fictional character. He even ventured into workout streams, where he connected with his followers on a personal level. However, as his popularity surged, his content took a darker turn. Over time, his videos became filled with edgy humor, racial stereotypes, and increasingly controversial commentary. Some fans saw this as an evolution of his comedic persona, but many others saw it as a step toward toxicity. This shift in tone left a lot of people feeling uncomfortable. Was this Oogway trying to stay relevant by pushing boundaries, or was he always leaning toward controversial content? Some fans say it's a natural progression when creators feel pressured to keep their audiences engaged, but in Oogway's case, the line between humor and offensiveness quickly blurred. One of the first major issues with Master Oogway's content came from his frequent use of racial slurs and offensive jokes. A key controversy that erupted involved his use of the N-word in multiple videos. Oogway often framed these moments as meta-jokes or satire, where he would pretend to bait his audience into expecting a slur, only to deliver a punchline instead. He defended these jokes by arguing that the power of offensive language depends on how people react to it. According to him, if people didn't react with outrage, the offensive power of the words would be diminished. He argued that his intent was to challenge societal reactions to these words, not to offend or hurt. This defense didn't sit well with many viewers, especially those from marginalized communities. The concept of satire was frequently misused here, as Oogway's content often reinforced stereotypes rather than subverting them. While some may argue that humor should be boundary-pushing, others believe it's irresponsible to perpetuate harmful ideas under the guise of satire. It's a classic case of punching down in comedy, which is often a red flag. In one of his most shocking moves, Ömer released a song on his secondary channel, Young Oogway, titled "Adil is My N-Word." This song crossed all boundaries of decency. Not only was it racially offensive, but it also trivialized one of history's most infamous figures, A.H. The outrage was immediate. The song led to his TikTok account being banned, and it wasn't long before YouTube began closely monitoring his actions. Many saw this as Oogway's attempt to draw attention by using shock value, and unfortunately, it worked, at least temporarily. The reaction to Oogway's content wasn't universally negative. His fanbase, particularly those who enjoyed darker humor, rallied around him, defending his right to free speech. They claimed that people were too sensitive and couldn't handle edgy humor. However, a large portion of the YouTube community, particularly creators of color, spoke out against him. Content creators like WestJet made videos confronting Master Oogway, highlighting how his racial and homophobic jokes contributed to a toxic atmosphere on the platform. WestJet's video, confronting YouTube's biggest clown, explored how Oogway's humor was not only offensive but hurtful to many viewers. Oogway himself admitted to using sexist, homophobic, and racist quotes in his content but continued to defend it as satire. It's important to note here that satire only works when it punches up, it challenges authority, bigotry, or unfair power structures. In Oogway's case, his jokes punched down, mocking marginalized groups instead. This led to a toxic community, where racism and other forms of hate were normalized under the banner of humor. By 2024, the backlash against Oogway had reached a critical point. YouTube initially demonetized his channels as a warning. Despite this, Oogway continued to post content that violated the platform's guidelines. He made appeals, removed some videos, and claimed that he was being unfairly targeted by haters who reported him for no reason. However, it wasn't just one or two violations that led to his downfall, it was the consistent use of racial slurs, offensive jokes, and clickbait content that pushed YouTube to take decisive action. In June 2024, Master Oogway's channels were permanently banned from YouTube. Was YouTube's action justified? According to the platform's community guidelines, any form of hate speech or harmful content is prohibited, and creators are responsible for the communities they cultivate. Oogway not only crossed these lines multiple times but showed little remorse. His termination set an important precedent for what kind of content is acceptable on the platform. Master Oogway's ban from YouTube sparked a broader discussion about the role of creators in shaping online spaces. His defenders argued that banning him was an overreach of YouTube's censorship powers, while critics felt it was long overdue. Some creators who had been targeted by his fanbase felt a sense of relief after his removal, as they believed his content promoted harmful behavior among his followers. Oogway's impact on the community was ultimately negative. His edgy persona encouraged other creators to push the boundaries of what's acceptable, often leading to the spread of hate speech and toxic behavior. The YouTube community has become more vigilant in calling out creators who rely on shock value rather than meaningful content. In conclusion, Master Oogway's rise and fall is a classic tale of a creator who pushed the boundaries too far. What started as a fun and harmless channel quickly spiraled into a platform for offensive content, leading to backlash, bans, and a legacy of controversy. While some may argue about freedom of speech, it's clear that Master Oogway crossed lines that hurt many communities and left a toxic footprint on the YouTube landscape. So, what's your take on Master Oogway? Was he unfairly targeted, or did he cross the line too many times? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.